here's everything unwrapped. Now I have a separate package, which is just the backup camera parts. Now that's not with the main unit. That's a separate purchase. Now it has a little bezel here. It's kind of fragile. It has some screen protectors as well. And it also has a QR code to download the manual on a sticker. So you can stick that on the actual radio when you install it for future use, I suppose. There's little brackets here. These are kind of standard brackets. Might be able to use them in your vehicle, might not. Might have to use the existing brackets, which I'll probably have to do that. Here's some cable management. This came with the front camera, which is here. And I went ahead and plugged it in so you can see what it goes to here. Here's the wires. And the front camera has this adhesive right here. And I didn't take this plastic off, but that's where the lens is. And you can adjust the lens like so. So if you need to make an adjustment, you can just move this little lever here. This is the bundle for the antennas. So this has a 4G antenna, GPS antenna, everything, Wi-Fi antenna, everything except for the FM antenna, which will be part of your vehicle, and it'll go right here in the back of the unit. These are the USB 1 and USB 2. One of them is for recording the front camera, so you can put just like a little flash drive in there to record the front camera footage. And then the second one is for, playing music off of a device, that kind of thing. And then this right here is for the medium output. So basically these are for the amplifier, if you happen to have an amplifier that need these RCA jacks to go to. Here is the SIM card. So if you need to use the 4G system, you got the little SIM card there, which you can tuck behind the dash once you install it, or you can have it in a spot where if you need to access it easier, you can, maybe run it to the glove compartment or something like that. And then here is the main cluster of wires here for the positive, negative speakers, that kind of stuff. Most everything is labeled. It also has some little notes here on this little piece of paper here, so you want to make sure you look at that before you throw it away. And then on the actual unit, most everything is labeled here, but if it's not labeled here, it's labeled here. So we have more detailed information here. So you probably will not even need a if you've installed radios, you probably won't even need a to download the manual there, but if you need to, you can do that as far as installing it anyway. And there's also videos as well. ATOTO, which I think that's how you say the name, has some videos on how to install it and where everything goes anyway. But yeah, it also has HDMI input here as well. So if you wanted to, hook up some kind of HD player where you're playing movies or whatever, or games, you can access it here. And it's of course in the back, so you would have to, you run it however you need to run it. Now the backup camera system just came with this cable here, the backup camera itself, and a little bracket to put it on your license plate if you want to do that, or you can unscrew the actual camera and you can install it with this little bracket system and stick it somewhere on the back of the vehicle, apparently. So yeah, I mean, most people will just make it easier anyway, just hook it to your tag. And then that way there's actually a place where running the wires is the tricky part. Actually mounting the camera is not the tricky part. So depending on your vehicle, how you can run the wires through the trunk or the back of the vehicle or the lift gate, that kind of thing, is going to be the part where you have to figure that out. Especially considering you have these huge chunky coax cables, or RCA cables, sorry, that have to run through the hole or the place where the wires go. So it's not like you can have little tiny wires. It also has a little pink wire and a red wire, And so one of them is for the to where you can hook it up to the tail light, the reverse light basically. And when you put it in reverse, that's when the camera will turn on. So yeah, it's pretty well thought out, I think. It's just the challenges on different vehicles on running the wires and everything. But as far as the actual hooking it up, is pretty straightforward. Regarding the backup camera wiring, I ran the wires behind the dash, just down here behind the dash here, tie strap the wires up, and then down this threshold cover right here, little sill plate, and then behind the paneling here is the backup camera. I just went ahead and installed it on the license plate, but I had to take this bumper cover off, which is very easy on this vehicle. And then to run the wires, there was actually a rubber boot that was right in this area in which I was able to pass the wires through. And then I tapped into the reverse light on this side for the, to activate when you put it in reverse. Now I just put the front cam just right there. I mean, it's really better to run the wire around one of these pillars and then up here in the center position somewhere where it'll be out of the way is what it's designed to do, probably right in here. It is adjustable and all that stuff, the aim of the camera. And then I just threw the GPS sensor right there on the dash. So just for testing purposes, it was just kind of easy to put this stuff right there. When I installed it in this vehicle, the factory radio, it is a double DIN system, but it has a little bezel that, that has a little bit of space right here. So I have the little pieces ordered to fill in that gap. You notice the little light right in here? That's the USB drive for the camera in the front. So I just put in a little flash drive. In this particular case, it has a little light that flashes in there when I installed it. There's a few things I'd left out because I don't need to use it, and that is the USB input. I left that out. What that can be installed, and you can put it somewhere wherever you can have access to it. And also the SIM card, I didn't put that in there. Now this has the ability to hook up to Wi-Fi. Now you can have it at your home, but you can also set up a Wi-Fi hotspot for your phone while you're on the go. So you can have constant connection to the internet while you're driving, basically. And this helps out with the navigation information. It also helps out with the weather and different apps. Also, the drive chat also works through your phone. So when you ask a question, let's go back here. Right here, this is how you ask a question. Mm-hmm. Tell me about the Civil War.
The Civil War, also known as the American Civil War, was a major conflict fought in the United States from 1861 to 1865. The war...
So yeah, it has access to ChatGPT, but it doesn't have access to the internet. So if you want real-time information like, weather or whatever, or current events, it's not going to have all that information. It's just going to be able to give you, basic answers to historical questions, that kind of stuff, or math problems, or, just trivia questions, all that kind of stuff, tell you a joke, all that kind of stuff. It's very, very useful, but as far as having real-time information, you don't have access to that. Now, the navigation system, you can pull it up. It's just basically the Google Maps, in which you can search and all the different things here. The text is a little bit small right now. You might be able to change it in the settings, but yeah, it's pretty basic. I mean, it's the Google navigation or maps anyway. And then you have the clock here. These are little widgets in which you can change. You can also put little icons here on this part right here and at the bottom. So there's the volume here. You can set the volume here, or you can pull from the top, and then there's a slider for the volume for the radio. So if you're familiar with Android systems, you'll be familiar with this system. You can swipe up from the bottom to get your, if I can do it correctly, you can get the different apps here. It also has access to the Play Store, so you can download more apps. And one of the ones I'm considering getting is like a digital speedometer that uses the GPS system to estimate your speed. You also have an EQ here for the radio, very advanced EQ. None of the presets really worked for me, so I had to go in and kind of set it up the way I wanted. You actually have the ability to look at the DVR here, which is basically the front camera. And so it's recording now. So every time you start the vehicle, it's going to start recording. And you can go into the files here and go to USB in my case, DVR, and then you can look through the files here. So here's a driving shot right here. It does record audio. In this case, I wasn't talking or anything, but it does record audio while you're driving. And it looks pretty good. It's a 1080p system, and so you can access it here. You can also take the little flash drive out or SD card, however you got it set up, to get the highest quality footage you can transfer to your computer. Let's get back out of that. Back out of that. Now, when you, it also has Pandora and all kinds of different features here. When you put it in reverse, now that I have the backup camera installed, it shows the camera in the back. Now, the guidelines back here are a little bit narrow. So you see where these cones are. That's actually where the width of the vehicle is, and this isn't a big vehicle. So right where the cone is I set it about 4 feet behind the vehicle, right in line with the side mirrors. So in this particular case, these guidelines are just a little bit too narrow. I would say that they're just narrow for every vehicle, because this is like a normal size vehicle. So, you know, unless you got like a smart car or something, then, you know, big SUV or whatever, this is just like a general, the guidelines. But as far as the camera itself is seeing behind you, it has a good wide view and you're able to see good. The resolution's okay. And so adding a backup camera to a vehicle that doesn't have one is excellent. This definitely helps out with backing up, but I just would kind of disregard the guidelines as far as the actual width of the vehicle. So it does have the FM radio. So there's the FM radio. It says AM, FM. It's basically any of the radio bands you want. You can just make the selection here. So there's FM. And when you hit the search right there, it'll search and find different radio stations that are clear and go ahead and set up your presets here for you. So I thought that was pretty cool. So now I can go in and each one of these have a clear signal. You can also add, you know, like it has Pandora already, which is pretty cool. And so yeah, there's additional cams you can add. So this is a front cam, and then there's a rear cam. You can have those independently. So right now, the rear cam, when you hit it, you can see it shows the backup camera, which I have it set, but you can actually add more cameras which are separate. Like this one is not set up yet. So yeah, different cameras. You can also have an interior camera, I'm assuming, because it's, you know, different camera options there. You can also have the auxiliary input, Bluetooth, which I already have set up here. When I go to my phone here, I can play off of my actual phone. So right now I have some songs here, and we turn the volume back up. And also the audio is actually pretty good. It is, now this car has this like basic 4-speaker system. It's not really advanced, but it has a lot of speaker options, and the power of the system is decent. Now it does have the ability to add front and rear amplifiers, which, you know, if you really want it to sound good, then you want to use those. But just basically a factory system. It sounds very clear and responsive, especially with that EQ system, which you can tailor to your needs and everything. But yeah, you can play, pause, change to the tracks. And I like to use the slider for the volume. So yeah, there's a little bit of rattling going on in this car, but as far as the clarity of the music, still, even at full blast, is still good. All right. So yeah, that's kind of a quick rundown of this video, this system here, the ATOTO X10 radio. I like the fact that it incorporates front cameras, GPS, Bluetooth, backup camera, and of course navigation. You have weather, you know, and then of course you can go to the Play Store and add a bunch of other stuff. It just adds a lot to a vehicle that doesn't have any of these things. Like this car was just a plain car, it had a CD player in here. Take that out, and then now I have a backup camera, which is a big deal. The actual dash cam is like a plus. I mean, I wasn't planning on putting a dash cam in this vehicle, but having it, you know, is great. GPS navigation, wasn't planning on it once again, but it's good to have it if needed. But yeah, it's really cool. I think the biggest thing for me on this one was the backup camera. So yeah. And then the little drive chat is kind of interesting, being able to have access to a ChatGPT type system while you're driving. You can ask a question. And in my case, I just have this little button right here as the button. Also, little things in the settings that you can change. Like when I put it in reverse, so let's turn the volume up a little bit. When I put it in reverse, you can have it, like right now I have it lower the volume of the radio. You can have it turn the radio off or no change whatsoever. So little things like that you can customize in this system, which I think is pretty cool. So it has an HDMI input, but you can also just like put videos on here and play videos. So it's not there's like a demo video that came with it. So yeah, you're able to play videos, and with the HDMI input, you can actually hook up like a game system if you really, really wanted to. Now it does have Apple Carplay and Android Auto. It has YouTube. It has all kinds of extra things like Torque and TPMS that's not connected right now, but you could connect it. Spotify is also on here. So let's go ahead and hit YouTube. So yeah, has full YouTube functionality here. So yeah, pretty interesting being able to watch YouTube as long as you have Wi-Fi, which is either through your phone or through just like a Wi-Fi signal. But driving, you know, you don't necessarily be watching videos here.
Welcome to the ride, we're rolling through the night. Mike's car info where the vision stays tight. High def shots, yeah, you see it so clear. No shortcuts here, just the real right here. They skimming the surface, I'm breaking it down. Detail by detail, we going all around. 4K sharp, every light, every glow. High back brake flowing like the stars below. I ain't rushing through, now we're taking our time. Every shot, every frame, it's a work, it's a climb. Others flash quick, but you miss what's real. Here's where the road speaks, you feel every wheel. Welcome to the ride, we're rolling through the night. Mike's car info where the vision stays tight. High def shots, yeah, you see it so clear. No shortcuts here, just the real right here. Hours of vids can't match what I show. You can search, but they don't get close to this glow. Night ride vibes under the dark skies. No gimmicks, just the truth that's in your eyes. Clarity unmatched, you see every spark in the fog, in the headlights rolling through the dark. High-end lens, I bring you in the scene. Every car, every detail, clean and mean. Ain't no need to rush when you roll with me. We take it slow, high def, so you see. Feel the engine, the lights and the steel. Mike's car info where it all gets real. Welcome to the ride, we're rolling through the night. Mike's car info where the vision stays tight. High def shots, yeah, you see it so clear. No shortcuts here, just the real right here. From the start to the end, I'm showing what's right. Mike's car info, every car, every night. To the end, I'm showing what's right. Mike's car info, every car, every night.